Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Really good bye week, really good practice today. The way the guys have come out, executed, flown around, leadership culture, all the things that we emphasize. Had, some performances the last time we played, so 2 Saturdays ago, against what is now the number 3 or number 2 team in the country. I thought we had some good performances. Jameer Gibbs was the player of the game on offense. Jamin Brooks, former walk-on, wearing number 0, playing at a high level for us against what is arguably the best offensive line in college football with Notre Dame. And then David Curry, what he did in a leadership role, what he did on special teams, the part that he played. I know there's some stat in here about it. We're one of the top punt teams in the country. Obviously, that's no small part to Presley Harvin and the way he's punting the ball right now, the way our gunners that we're well-versed in talking about, Jalen Askew and Josh Blancato and Tobias Oliver and Dante Smith. But the role David Curry played on the punt team and then on defense too just says a lot about him. Developmental players of the week, we knew we were going against one of the best offensive lines in the country, and we challenged our offensive line on the developmental team, and 2 guys really stepped up, played a big role for us. Michael Rankins, Cade Kutsaritis did a really good job. Defensively, Jordan Huff playing a bunch of different positions for us. Defensively, Akilo Stone also had a really good week. And then this next piece, these 2 young men, Ryan King and Nate McCullum, what they did getting us ready to play the last game was really impressive. Their effort, how they attacked every single day. They got 0 reps on the ATL field. So the ATL offense versus the developmental defense. Ryan King, Nate McCullum had 0 plays in practice in the week leading up. Combined versus Notre Dame, they played 50 plays in the game. We had some injuries happen during the game. Some guys went down. Ryan King, Nate McCullum in a developmental program stepped up and contributed in a big way. And that just speaks to how we run the program, how we run our developmental periods, how we don't place emphasis on cards. We place emphasis on the development of a player. And then thank you, bud. So just really good job by Nate and Ryan, how they did the film study. We're in the meetings, even though they weren't getting the reps necessarily on the ATL field, but just the way they were able to process and go in and play. Really, really proud of them. I think 16 true freshmen played in the game and was a competitive game all the way down the stretch. Really proud of the way our guys fought and battled. And, so I know there's a big deal being made about how well that true freshman class is playing, but want to give credit to the leaders in this program. Even though we're still in the midst of a global pandemic, bringing these young guys along so that they're playing the right way, they're preparing the right way, and just really proud of them. Saturday against Pitt is our annual Heroes Day. So obviously recognizing the veterans and people that have served in the military for us, and then all of the frontline workers that day in and day out have done so much for our community in the midst of a global pandemic and all those things. So we're going to recognize those heroes throughout the game. And, so we just got to have a good week of preparation. We understand we've got a really good team coming in and be ready to play at a high level Friday or Saturday night downtown Atlanta. Questions?
Okay, if you have questions for Coach Collins, please use the raise hand function within Zoom. Also, just a reminder, do that little hiccup that we had that if you aren't asking a question, to please make sure that your line is muted so we don't have any feedback or any side conversations going on. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first question from Charles Odom from the Associated Press.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Coach, since you opened with a quick look back to Notre Dame, I wanted to ask a quick Notre Dame question. What are your thoughts on, their entry into the league this year and how they are, of course, now in position to contend for the ACC championship? And would you like to see this become a permanent membership for Notre Dame in the league?
To be honest with you, Charles, I'm worried about this program. I'm worried about developing our guys day in and day out. It is what it is. They're a great team. They're a great program. They're a storied program. And, I fully support our league in what they've done with having them join the league for the year. And if that continues, that's a good thing. But I'm worried about our guys. I'm worried about our program, and that's a whole nother topic that I don't know that my opinion really moves the needle on that. So I'm just worried about us.
Next question from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Geoff. I was writing something about Presley, and I was hoping you could kind of, just from what you've seen, what explains this, just the consistency that he's been hitting the ball with so well this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really honed in on his craft. Even though we were away from each other, he was continuing to work. He stayed focused. He's being a really good teammate, understanding the directions of the punch, the things that we do schematically help him in his progression to be able to be a kicker at the next level, because we're very similar to a pro-style special teams, and that's helping him prepare to kick at the next level. And I think it's obvious that he will. Tremendous leg, tremendous leadership, which you don't really hear very much from a specialty position. But just Presley's presence on this team, how he can affect the game, how he can flip the field. Just been really proud of how he attacks every single day to get better. The way he works on his flexibility, the way he does every little thing possible to elevate his game and to contribute to the team at a high level. Really, really proud of him.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Geoff, good morning. Hey, you talked about the team, having a good practice today. They've gone through a lot since they've been back on campus. How do you feel the team is holding up through all this going into the final 4 games?
Yeah, this is uncharted territory for everybody. I'm sure for you guys too, having to connect via Zoom and to do your jobs remotely. So all of us are experiencing it in different ways, but just as a college football player, a college student athlete, in the midst of everything that's going on, I'm just so proud of this group of guys, how they're able to stay focused, follow protocols, be great teammates, come in and work like they do, be great dudes, go to one of the top 4 academic schools in America every single day. And it's just amazing. I'm looking out here right now. Practice has been over, 15 minutes, and there's guys still out here working, bonding, wearing masks, thankfully, keeping their distance. But just the things that these guys are going through, our student athletic trainers, our student managers, everybody associated with this program, it is no small task every single week just to get to a college football game. And for them to do it with the class and the character and the integrity and the positivity is just, at times it's mind-blowing. And I'm just so proud to be associated with every man and woman involved in this program. And that includes all of our families back home that are doing all the protocols and mitigation strategies to keep this thing and keep our guys healthy and safe, and all of us healthy and safe.
Question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Geoff. Bye weeks often allow teams to get healthier. Do you feel like you'll have some guys back that were maybe either missing the last couple games or were knocked out of the Notre Dame game?
So I do know this. We have an outstanding training staff that is working diligently. Our guys do exactly what they ask them to do to get to be able to return to play. So we're continuing to rehab and even prehab. That's part of our process to get ready to play. So we're still working through some things. Obviously we don't talk about injuries, but the guys are working really, really hard to do that. One young man, Ryan King, that I mentioned earlier, he'll be out for the year. So those are the kind of comments that I will be able to make as guys that will be out for the remainder of the season. Ryan King, who is part of our historic freshman class, was starting to get a lot of burn on special teams, was starting to get a lot of burn on offense. So just, I'm excited about his recovery, his development. But the other piece too, Kelly, just looking in your background, I see those 3 guitars. Obviously, I don't have time right now to discuss that, but I do have questions and excited to learn what those mean to you and maybe hear you play at some point. Sorry, I digress. I apologize.
I think we'll have to put him playing them up to a vote, Coach. But
Yeah.
we'll go with another question from Patrick Canaro from Ramblin' Sports.
Hey,
Good
Patrick.
morning, Coach. I wonder if you could summarize. It's only Tuesday, but can you summarize where you stand for place kicking duties against Pittsburgh coming up Saturday?
Yeah, so that's in flux every single week. We've got a really good competition going, but it's, right now it's week to week, and that's the way it has to be. Had a really good competitive session today. We will have another really competitive session tomorrow as well. And the way that we've done it, the last probably 5 games it's even become a game time decision for those roles and for those duties. I will say this, Austin Kent is doing a really nice job for us in the kickoff game. And, the amount of touchbacks and the amount of just placement of the ball and letting our guys cover at a high level has been impressive. So really been proud of Austin in the kickoff game.
Next question comes from Bailey Johnson from the AJC.
Hey, Bailey.
Yeah. I apologize if you've talked about this before. I'm obviously a little newer to covering y'all. I noticed that you refer to what most people would call their scout team as their development team. I'm just wondering about sort of the philosophy and the reasoning there.
Bailey, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that, please?
For sure. I've noticed y'all call what most people would call their scout team your development team.
Yep.
I'm wondering about the philosophy and the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, so the big thing is we just want to make sure that we're developing our players at a high level at all times. We don't use cards around here. We run our offense, we run our defense. Certain nuances that we might have to tweak to get the proper looks, we will do. But for the most part, they're running the developmental defense is running our defense relative to how our opponent's going to run it. Same thing with offense. They run relatively the plays that we run. We name them formations just so they're constantly playing our scheme all year long, because we want to develop our players. Every single player that enters this program, they need to feel like they're always developing, always improving on their craft. And if all you do every day, Bailey, is just hold up a card and they run a line, they feel like they're literally not improving on a daily basis. So I want every single player in our program to get better, to improve, to feel like their development matters to us, because it does. And, we've been doing that now for 4 years, and we'll continue to do it. And you can just see the development of a player when they enter our program until the time that they leave. There's a constant progression of improvement. And so just that's how we do it and why we do it.
Coach, we have a question from a member of the media via text that couldn't join us today. Wanted to ask a little bit, very active on social media last week, both the football program and the athletics department with Election Day. If you could just talk a little bit about your involvement and the team's involvement in Election Day.
Well, actually, it's one of the initiatives that got started with the NCAA actually started here on Georgia Tech's campus with the Georgia Tech Athletic Department. Hats off to Josh Passner, Nell Fortin, our basketball program, Todd Stansberry, getting the initiative going to make sure our student athletes are registered to vote. Had the day off to participate. We joined in at the urging of our football players, wanting to make sure that they had the chance to exercise that right. So just really proud of the whole organization, from the student athletes to our administration, and obviously our basketball programs that participated. And I think Marco Coleman, Kevin Cohn within the football program deserve a lot of credit. We had 100% of our football team was registered to vote, and just understanding that process, it was really, really positive to be a part of.
Another question from Ken Segura from the AJC.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Geoff, if I can go back to the place kicking, obviously this year and last year haven't been up to your standards, I'm sure.
Yep.
Just does the way that's gone, does it make you think we need to reconsider how we're coaching them or how we're recruiting or anything along those lines?
Well, every single decision that we make, every single position that we have, we always try to make sure we're elevating every player in our program with coaching, with developing, making sure all the things that they need to be provided, we do those things, and we'll continue to get better at every single position, including that.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Geoff, this is a little bit odd, but if you guys manage to play your full schedule as is right now, would you be in favor of maybe adding a game that last week, the 12-12 week, if somehow, knock on wood, you guys get through this cleanly?
Kelly, I'm just taking this one day at a time, man, 1 hour at a time, one increment at a time, just trying to make sure we're keeping everybody healthy and safe, following protocols, mitigation strategies, developing a team, building a team, preparing to play at a high level on a college football Saturday. So I just need to worry about today, and then tomorrow I'm going to worry about tomorrow, and then the next day I'm going to worry about the next day, and to make sure that we're staying healthy and safe and doing everything we can to get our team to incrementally get better in every single phase in the safest manner possible.
Have time left for a couple more that we have in queue. We'll start with one from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Geoff. Pitt got Kenny Pickett back at quarterback last week.
Yep.
Their offense had been floundering a little bit. Then they came up pretty strong against Florida State. What does he add to their offense?
Yeah, he's a really good player. We saw him last year. Really good control of what they do schematically on offense. They're extremely multiple in what they do. There's a different wrinkle or many wrinkles every single week. And, he's got a tremendous arm, a tremendous feel for where to go with the football. He's got talent. He's got weapons around him, and he knows how to distribute the ball and distribute it on time. He's a really good player.
Okay, last two. First one from Charles Odom from the Associated Press, and we'll wrap up with another one from Ken Segura.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, this has been a tough grind last three games, and especially for anybody, but maybe especially for a freshman quarterback. What did you want Jeff Sims to focus on during the bye week, and can you just talk about his overall progression as a starter?
Yeah, so within that span that you're talking about, we played two of the top four teams in the country and got better every single week. I'm really proud of the way Jeff has played, the way he's continued to develop within this program. There's not a lot of true freshmen that are having to play at a high level. He is one of them. Just proud of the way he comes to work every single day, the way he takes coaching from Coach Patnode, the way he gets to be in tune with his teammates, and just really proud of the player that he is, the player that he's becoming, and the player that he will be moving forward. So really, really proud. I can't say enough positive things about Jeff Sims as a young man, as a person in this program, developing the leadership traits in real time as a true freshman. Just really, really proud of him and the way the team is galvanized around him for him to have some success and for the team to have some success. But I mean, we've started three true freshmen on offense and most of the season, and they've done a really good job and continue to get better. So excited about the progression, excited about how it's going and how it's going to continue to grow.
And finally, last one from Ken Segura.
Hey, I remember at the beginning of the season or before it even, you mentioned how you kind of were adjusting the load management and we're working with Ryan to figure out. And I'm curious, like Ryan was sharing the other day, like a couple weeks ago now, that against the Louisville game in particular, there were, all the sprint distance was better in the fourth quarter and so forth. I'm curious just from your perspective, how has all that worked out?
It's been great, and obviously you got to ask the players. They're the ones that live it every single day, but we've made decisions that have been really beneficial for our guys and the way they practice, the way they play, the effort that we play with. The big thing, Ken, goes back to the execution, turnovers, creating turnovers, not turning the ball over, critical opportunities, making plays and not hurting ourselves. Those are the things that we've continued to develop with a young team. But as far as playing with tremendous effort, flying around, playing together, the guys have done that. We just continually have to get better as we grow this program. And we've got to execute at a high level on Saturday night, protect the football, create turnovers, and continue to play with the effort and playing together like we have, though.